Hey everyone, so I am 35 weeks. Thought I'd just hop on here real quick and film my update. I apologize in advance if this one's a little longer than normal. It's been kind of an exciting / interesting week. There's been a lot going on. Let me catch my breath. But just like normal, so I'll start with the apps. My Pregnancy Plus app is still saying honeydew size, but my What to Expect app says this week they're the size of canary melons, and I have no idea what that is. They showed a picture of it, and it's just this yellow melon, but I'm not real familiar with those. So we'll still go with the honeydew. I know what those look like. Again, they're supposed to be right around 20-ish inches and weighing anywhere from like 5.5 to 6 pounds. I think maybe 5, I can't remember, 5 to 6 pounds, something like that. And I would guess that they are closer to the 6.5-ish range, just based on their previous measurements. So that's what the apps say this week. I'll kind of back my dates up here a little bit. I'm trying to think. Okay, so where I last left off last week, I had my OB appointment, or no, I had not had my OB appointment yet, but we were waiting to schedule an induction, which we have, and I'll get to that date in a second. We did have a birthing class last week, so that's what it was. And last week's birthing class, we talked a lot about an epidural and like what is involved in the epidural. And then we also were able to take the tour of the hospital of the labor and delivery wing, which was really, really cool. The epidural is one of those things where I'm like such a visual person. I'm glad I now know what all of that looks like, but I probably would have preferred maybe to not have seen it all. It's not going to affect my decision to have one, especially since we're having two. I will be having an epidural. It's just how that's going to go. But seeing it all, I'm like, I would have been fine without seeing everything, all, the needle, the catheter, having the guy come in and explain everything and his interpretations. I would have been just fine. But the hospital tour was really good. I'm excited at the idea of having the babies there. It's all private birthing suites that you stay in the whole time, except for me. Having twins is kind of the exception to that rule. They require twin births, even if you're delivering vaginally, to have it in the operating room just in case anything turns and they need to do an emergency C-section. So, and in our case, that's, a high possibility just because of Lila being breech. So, unfortunately, I won't get to have the birthing experience in a nice, really nice room. I will be in an operating room, nice and sterile and cold, but then I'll be put back in my own birthing room. And even at this hospital, they have, it's a smaller hospital, but they have their overflow rooms in case, there's multiple people coming in the same day. And even those overflow rooms that they don't usually put people in, those are actually really nice. They're just a tiny bit smaller than the regular labor room. So, yeah. No matter where I get put in there, it'll be good. So that was last week, and that was really, really good. Really good information. I'm really liking that class so far. But then fast forward a couple of days, on Sunday, I woke up and my face was really swollen. My eyelids were really, really swollen, and my lips were really swollen. So I got a little panicky and I called, just because, I have been dealing with swelling of my feet and legs. And I know that the swelling of the face is definitely a sign of, preeclampsia or some other things you could have going on. So they did have me go into labor and delivery, to be monitored. And at that appointment, wasn't even an appointment, at the hospital, it was basically determined that I'm not preeclamptic. They check for protein in your urine, I didn't have any. They did blood work. Everything came back normal, but my blood pressure is high. It's not past their, where they, like it's not extremely high or anything, but it's definitely past where they want it to be. So basically I was diagnosed with gestational hypertension at the hospital, and which just means high blood pressure while you're pregnant. And I was put on 24-hour bed rest, and I also had to do a 24-hour urine collection just to make sure nothing was missed. And at that appointment, or I keep saying at the appointment, at the hospital, they also did a cervical check and determined that I was dilated 1 to 1 centimeter, which is, nothing. A lot of women go a long time at 1 centimeter. And the nurse was saying that I was soft, but still my cervix was thick. So I had nothing to worry about then. The next day after, doing my urine collection and everything, I did have an OB appointment on Monday already scheduled. So I was able to just go straight to my appointment, and all of the lab work came back normal from my 24-hour collection, which was good. My blood pressure was still right where it had been when I was in the hospital, which they did not like, but they're, it's still just borderline. And then I had my Strep B test, which to anybody who knows what that entails, I'll just leave that because no one likes that. And then we were able to schedule our induction. Now, at my previous doctor's appointment, my OB had said no matter what, I was going to be induced. But then at this appointment, she said we would have the option to schedule a C-section or an induction. And I chose to schedule an induction instead of just going straight for the C-section. I just feel like if I was pregnant with one baby, I would be doing everything in my power to be able to have that baby vaginally and not needing a C-section. And I don't know why this would be any different unless there was a specific reason why I had to have a C-section, which right now I don't. So because of the hypertensive or prenatal hypertension and then Lila being breech, it does qualify me to have a cesarean if I want, but we're still opting to try vaginally if possible. So the induction date has been scheduled for April 5th, which is 2 weeks from today. And it's just kind of crazy that it's 2 weeks away. That's nuts. And what I think is kind of funny is when we originally found out that we were having twins back with my fertility doctor, he didn't give me a due date. And everything that I had read about twins said that 37 weeks was full term, and that most doctors don't want you to go past like 37 or 38 weeks. So I actually had it in my head that April 5th was my due date. I think even when I announced our pregnancy on Facebook, I think I said April 5th was our due date. I'll have to go back and check. But so officially that's our induction date. So I think that that's kind of funny that it's turned out that way. However, couldn't, just be normal and, get my induction date and call it a day. This morning, and I apologize if this is TMI for anybody, but I actually felt really good this morning. I slept better last night than I had, the night before. But then this morning, I lost my plug, which is very normal. But then I started having cramping afterwards, and it's still going. And then I have had some contractions since then, and I did call my doctor, and I did speak to a nurse, and basically she said that until the contractions are a little bit closer together, or if there's bleeding, or, anything different with my eyes, or, if my eyesight changes or something like that, vision changes, that, just to keep an eye on it and all of that jazz. So that's been interesting because, again, we just scheduled our induction yesterday for 2 weeks from today. And then today it appears that things may be moving a little bit quicker than anticipated. And if these contractions continue the way that they have, I will probably end up going back into the hospital just to be monitored for my own mental sanity, just because I want to make sure everything is okay. Since I'm not 36 weeks yet, and the hospital I go to does not have a NICU, they will send me to a different hospital if I actually do go into labor. So I feel a little more on the paranoid side, like I need to be really cautious and really pay attention to what's going on with my body more than normal, just because I'm not quite 36 weeks. It's not like I can just drive to this hospital and be like, okay, I'm here to, have our babies. I would, have to go somewhere else. So, and unfortunately they would be required to, at least be checked out in the NICU, since they're not 36 weeks yet. And we want to avoid that as much as possible. But if today's an indicator of that at all, I have a feeling these babies might be coming sooner than later, but we'll see. The goal is to at least make it to next Monday. And if I'm able to keep going, our induction date is April 5th. So fingers crossed. That's kind of what we have going on. I was put on basically moderate bed rest for the remainder of the time. And thankfully, since I work from home, I'm able to just kind of take it easy. I'm only working half days now, which is great. And the rest of the day I spend with my feet propped up. We do have our final birthing class today, which I am going to go to. I'm treating it like an appointment just because we've already signed up for these, and it's at the hospital. So if anything does happen, we're good to go. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's just been kind of like a whirlwind week. And it didn't start that way. It started kind of a slow week, and then on Sunday, and today's Tuesday. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I've had stuff going on. And it's just crazy to think that this could be the beginning of it all. And yeah. The other thing is that my doctor at my appointment, she also did a check, and she said that I am 1 centimeter, but she said that I'm 70% effaced, which would explain maybe why my plug came out today. So, again, I apologize if this was a little bit TMI, but that's what I have going on. That's the truth of it. Yeah. I am so ready to meet these babies, but I want them to stay in just a little longer. I really don't want to go to another hospital. I don't want them to have to be required to be in the NICU. It's one thing if there's something, wrong with them, or they are having problems breathing, since they will be early. But I just want to avoid that 100% if I can. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll see. This possibly could be my last update. I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope I can at least do one more. But we'll see. I'll show you guys my belly. It has taken on a funny shape, I think. Alright, so here we go. Here's the belly. And I apologize if you can hear the sound or the sirens outside. I'm living on our military base. It's 5 o'clock, so it's about to go off. You're about to hear a cannon in just a second. But anyways, the joys of living on post. But, so my belly has taken on, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but it's kind of flattened out here. And Caleb's on this side and Lila is on this side. So I have like these two little protruding bump things where it's kind of flat in the middle. And then I have this bump area down here, and originally Chris and I thought maybe that was Caleb's head, because it's perfectly round and you can kind of cup it. But when I asked my doctor yesterday at my appointment about it, because it's really sensitive, it hurts really bad, she said it's just swelling. It's just swelling along with the rest of my body being swollen, and basically that will be there until the babies come out. So fantastic news. But anyways, that's my update this week. It is longer than usual. Sorry about that. There's just been kind of a lot going on in those last few days. Hopefully I'm able to do one more. If not, everyone will know when these babies make their arrival. So I hope you guys all have a good rest of your week, and I look forward to talking to you all later. Bye!